Alright students, time to get back to work. We've got lesson 5-2, solving two-step equations. So we can solve a problem with a two-step equation, and sometimes might have to write it like we did in 5-1. So, if you're ready to get started, let's go to the board.
Topic 5-2.
Alright students, now that we're at the board, we're going to learn how to solve two-step equations by solving for the variable. It could be x, y, c, really anything. So, the example we have here is 3x plus 7 equals 19. So when you're solving this, there are two steps to get to the correct answer. The first step is usually going to be plus or minus. The second step will normally be multiplication or division. So here's what we're looking for. We're trying to get this variable, in this case it's an x, all by itself. The way we're going to do that is by eliminating everything next to it. So we're going to go with this plus 7 first. And this is a plus 7, so we need to do something that's going to make this disappear. So we can subtract 7. If we do that, this becomes 0. But this is an equation, so if I do something on one side of the equation, it has to be done on the other side as well. So here's a little trick for you. You can draw a line straight down from the equation sign and then do it on the other side as well. Let's go ahead and draw a line under here. Now that 7 was subtracted by 7, so that becomes 0. Now we don't need to write that, we just know it disappeared because it became 0. The only thing left on that side now is this 3x. So let's go ahead and bring it down. The equal sign also comes down, and then we have 19 minus 7, which gives us 12. Now the second step we said was multiplication or division. So this is really 3 times x. That's what 3x really stands for. So since it's being multiplied already, we'll do the opposite of that also, and we're going to divide by 3. And again, we'll do it on both sides, so the 12 gets divided by 3 also. Now 3 divided by 3 becomes 1. It doesn't really disappear, but we're left with just x, because we could write the 1 in front of x, but nobody really does that. We just know it always exists. Now we bring down the equal sign one more time, and then we divide. 12 divided by 3, and that gives us 4. So that means that the answer is 4. Now the cool thing about this is you can always double check your answer. This x being equal to 4 means that I can put 4 in its place in the equation. So let's rewrite it with a 4 in the place of x. 3 multiplied by 4 plus 7 equals 19. Let's see if this makes sense. 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 7 does equal 19, so this answer checks out and we know it's correct. Great job! Let's look at another example now. We have 6c minus 7 equals negative 19. Remember our first two steps. We have plus or minus, and then the second step is multiply or divide. Again, we can go ahead and draw this line down here if that helps. Now, this is a minus 7 now. So that means I'm going to have to add 7 to both sides. We're going to do the opposite. So we delete that. Now we've got a 6c left on the left side. The equal sign falls down. And then we've got negative 19 plus 7. And that's going to give us negative 12. Now, because this is a 6c, remember 6 is being multiplied to c, we're going to have to divide. We divide by the coefficient, which is 6, because 6 divided by 6 gives us that 1 that we want. Leaves us with the c on the bottom. Equal sign again comes down, and then this negative 12 also has to be divided by 6, which gives us negative 2. So our answer would be negative 2. And once again, let's go ahead and look at it in the equation itself. So 6 multiplied by negative 2 minus 7 should equal negative 19. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. Negative 12 minus 7 is negative 19. That is true. So we know this works. Alright, let's try this example. We have d divided by 7 plus 8 equals 12. So again, remember our two steps. First is either plus or minus. Second step is either multiply or divide. So since we have this 8 out here, it's a positive 8, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. I'll try this time not drawing the line. That was just to show you that there are two sides to the equation. So 8 minus 8 gives us 0, and the only thing left on this side of the equals is d divided by 7. On this side we have 12 minus 8, which gives us 4. Now, in the previous two examples, we always had multiply and divide, but we always divided because we had multiplication with the variable. This time, the variable is being divided by 7, so we're going to multiply by 7. And then we do the same thing on the other side. Now, in this opportunity, this 7 over 1 is multiplied by the d over 7, and those 7's just cancel out, giving us d over 1, or again, just d. On the other side, 4 times 7 gives us 28. So our answer again will be 28. Alright, now it's time to try a word problem. Andrew rents bowling shoes for $4. He bowls 2 games. Andrew spent a total of $22. How much was the cost of each game for B? So they want us to write the equation, and then we're going to solve it. So if you think about this, if you've ever been bowling, you rent the bowling shoes for the whole time you're bowling. That's a one-time cost. So that would be plus 4. So cost of the games plus 4. They bowled 2 games, but they don't tell us how much each game costs. And they want us to use B for the cost of the games. So we're going to put 2B and then the plus 4. And we know that this all costs $22. So now we have our equation, now we just have to solve it. Don't forget our 2 steps. First step is add or subtract. Second step, multiply or divide. So, since we have a plus 4, we're going to go ahead and minus 4 from both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. We're left with the 2b on the left side. 22 minus 14 is 18 on the right side. Now our second step, this is 2 times b, which means we'll divide by 2 on both sides. 2 divided by 2 gives us just b, and 18 divided by 2 gives us 9. So it costs $9 per game for the bowling. Alright, so now we have another word problem to try. John had $21.61 on a balance on a gift card that can be used to purchase online music. He bought some songs that each cost $1.29. Now he has $10 left. How many songs did John purchase? They want us to use D for the number of songs that you purchased. We don't know how many of those are. So we have to go ahead and write the equation and then solve it. So we know that at the end he has $10 left. So that's going to be on the right side of the equal sign. We know he started with $21.61 and that he subtracted $1.29 for each song. We just don't know how many songs there were. So we're going to make that D, because we said use D for the songs John purchased. So now we can solve the equation. Here we go. This 2161, that's a positive number, even though you don't see a positive or anything in front of it. So we're going to subtract $21.61. That's our first step, right? Add or subtract. But again, we do it on both sides, so minus 2161. Okay, this becomes 0. We have negative 1.29D equal to negative 11.61. So now, our second step, remember, is multiply or divide. Since again, this is multiplication, we're going to divide by negative 1.29, and we're going to do that on both sides. On the left side, of course, this becomes just D, and on the right side, this becomes 9, which tells us that John purchased 9 songs. Alright, we have one last problem to try, students. Let's give it a go. In a week, Andreo earns $12.45 less than twice the amount that Ramonda earns. Andreo earns $102.45. How much does Ramonda earn? Well, let's take a piece of this at a time and try to put our equation together, and then we can solve it. So in a week, Andreo earns $12.45 less than twice the amount that Ramonda earns. So let's go ahead and make this an R for Ramonda. So $12.45 less looks like a minus 12.45. And that's less than twice the amount that Ramonda earns. So that's going to be 2R. And it equals 102.45. So that's our equation. So let's go ahead and solve it. So 2R minus 12.45 equal to 102.45. All right, so now we have to go back to our two steps. First step is going to be addition or subtraction. Since this is a negative, we're going to go ahead and add 12.45 to both sides. This becomes 0. We have 2R equal to 114.90. Now our second step, remember, is multiplying or dividing. So we're going to divide this time by 2 on both sides. So Ramonda earns $57.45.
All right, students, now you know how to write and solve two-step equations. So you should be good to go until the next lesson where we learn about inequalities. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you like the video, and then leave some comments down below so I can help you out on future videos and if you have any questions. And until next time, see you later.